I'm not a speedster. I can't eat hot dogs really fast. I will throw up.
I feel like hot dogs are the one thing I can just kind of swallow. I mean,
I think if I was on death row, a hot dog would be like my last meal. But like a ridiculously long hot dog, not like a small one. But like, I want one that goes out the door and I have to just keep working at it.
I think if it's something like that, they don't like wait until you finish it. I think if you like get something that's like outrageous, they're just like, all right, fucking hurry it up, bud. And then they like chop it off.
Here's a burger.
Well, no, my goal would be to eat it as fast as possible. Like, just start shoving that thing down.
Oh, so you're going for speed.
Yeah.
Like, is that how you want to go out? Like, the last thing you're eating is just a really long, disgusting hot dog?
Yeah, especially if they're going to electrocute me or something and then I just barf it all over the screen or something.
That's fair.
Just
one last fuck you to the man.
Yeah. First off, I didn't do it. Second off, I wasted like half that hot dog. So, y'all just wasted money. Good luck with that on your conscience. And then third off, I'm about to barf all over this place. So good luck cleaning.
Got him.
Teach them to execute me.
Yeah, they'll never make that mistake again.
Also, does anybody else know what surge is?
Doesn't that make your dick small?
What?
I heard that once, that like surge makes your dick small. I don't know.
Well, if it does, it's probably a good thing because I'm hung like an elephant.
Welcome to the worst episode ever of the worst podcast of all time. With just zero energy, except I'll get to that in a second. Not really, but kinda. Joined by Kit and Maya, and then Chris is dead or something. I don't know.
Yeah, Chris. Did he say he did go to like the emergency room or something?
Yeah.
The Care Now. It's free clinic, basically.
But either way, yeah,
he's off. People.
He's off getting medical attention.
WebMD, but in person.
Yeah.
How wacky would it be if Chris came out of nowhere and joined the podcast?
I mean, I'd be a little annoyed just because I know I'd have to fix that in editing later. You know. I don't think it's gonna happen.
That's true.
I have this constant thought that I'm like, you guys show up and you guys do things, but every week I'm like, no one wants to fucking be here. I'm just so I'm like, this Chris is he's like, thank God I've got this horrible tooth or sinus or whatever thing, because then I don't have to go to the podcast. Oh man,
thank you. I have an excuse.
Yeah, even though it's like that's just totally unfounded and based in nothing. It's just
I'm pretty sure everybody really wants to be
loves
here.
Doing this.
And like highlights of I think we mentioned most of the time like this is the highlight of our week is sitting around talking to each other. And then I was gonna say more, but I don't remember what I was gonna say. So
yeah, that's the thing. So
surge is hitting me. Whew.
I don't think we can do therapy this week because we're all having a week. And you can't help one person. We're all just like, bleh. So
yeah.
And like I've been like having to kind of hype myself up a little for the last like hour or so just to do this, because otherwise I don't know. It's still not great, but we'll get through it. I don't. It's like everything. It's weird because nothing like extremely bad has happened, but we're all just kind of like out of it. I don't know. It's hard to describe.
That's such a good way to put it, because like this week, I'm sure for all of us, it's just been like one wild ride after another. Like Kit, you almost lost your job because your company fucking almost shut down.
Yeah, out of nowhere too. It was.
Yeah, when you said that, you were like, "Oh, this is the day that I find out if I have a job like on Monday," and then I'm like, "What? Where did that come from?"
Yeah, there was nothing like you hadn't hinted at it before or anything. So yeah. It must have been.
Well, I mentioned it on Happy Hour.
Oh, okay.
But basically, last week was the longest week of my life, and I mentioned some of it on Happy Hour, which will come out who knows when, but that will come out, and you'll understand more of it. But basically, it was just a ridiculously long week, and everybody I've asked has said that it's been a long week. But it started with Monday beforehand, or Friday beforehand, I'm getting my days mixed up still, but Friday 2 weeks ago, I guess, Friday, the owners of the company, the presidents of the company, and the backers of the company all got into a talk because it's January, because we see where everything's going to go. And there was a huge argument, and they apparently were talking about how they were going to close down the company, maybe.
Jesus.
And basically what happened was the backers of the company started backing it back before it actually started making money. So they lost like $20 million. Now that the new management and everything's in it, we're making like tons of money. But this month and next month are going to be slow because that's just how circuit boards work, because the beginning of cycles and stuff like that is usually 3 months in. That's whenever they get all their funding for the government gets funding and stuff. And also the government's shut down right now, so that doesn't help anything. So everybody's kind of freaking out, and it's like, well, this happened last year and the year before that and the year before that. It'll pick up and soon we'll have millions of dollars again. But basically they're like, oh, we just now broke even. Let's just go ahead and get out now. And it's like, no, you're in an upward trend. You're making $1 million, making $1 million on a bad month. And you're like, nah, I'm done.
I want to make $1 million on a bad month.
I'd love $1 million. Right? Yeah.
I want to make $100 on a bad month.
Ooh, yeah.
Right? I want to be in profit of $100.
Yeah. Right. I want it to be the opposite of GoBicker. Instead of being a
exactly.
money pit, I want to make money.
Having a great month and then losing $100.
And then just kind of going like, what's the fucking point? Yeah, I want the opposite. That'd be great.
So basically what happened was this entire last week, it was just kind of crazy with everybody being like, oh my God, we're going to lose our jobs. And me being like, I don't care. Just fire me. I'm good with it. I'll sleep. And so like last week, I don't know why, but it was just rough. And then finally it got to today, which the weekend was kind of a little bit worrisome because, just kind of being like, do we actually have a job? But I basically went up to my boss and was like, hey, do I need to, what do I need to do? Is everything fine? Do I need to worry? And he was like, probably don't worry.
Oh, that's good.
Probably don't. And I was like, okay, I'll probably not. And so it got to today, and basically what happened is they didn't officially say this, but I think the owners of the company bought out all the stocks of the backers, so now it's all being owned by one company. And basically they just cut the hours for everybody, except for me.
Aren't you so lucky?
So everybody's now working 32 hours instead of the normal 40 hours, and I don't have the luxury of ever having time off because I'm the linchpin for the whole operation, and that's not even trying to talk myself up.
How did you and Chris end up like being so important in your companies? Like,
you both are like your companies ride off of your guys' backs.
Yeah.
And me and Terry are here working for just above minimum wage.
Yeah, and we're just like
then again, we are the youngest, so that's probably why.
But like, I'm only like a year younger than Chris, and
that's
I'm not even remotely close to being as important as he is at his company. Like, I don't know, just show up.
Well, I got this job because one of the people that was trying to sell it actually went to a church that I had to do a marriage counseling thing before getting married so that we would get like $5 off the marriage certificate because we're that cheap.
Hell yeah.
All right. I mean,
I wasted like 10 hours of my life going to a thing where they're like, oh yeah, the man's always right, and he's the owner of the household, and if something's wrong, it's the woman's fault. And I was like, that's not true at all.
Oh.
Holy shit.
Jesus.
Exactly.
That's the South for you.
Wait, so maybe that's a real test of your relationship, though. Maybe that was secretly the point, because now, because if you were going in, you're like, he's got some points, honey. I mean, maybe then, some shit's fucked up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It gives your wife an out and to find somebody who's not a piece of shit.
Yeah,
it doesn't. Yeah.
This is not gonna work out. I'm gonna find a loophole.
I got this cool.
But so that guy got me the job, and I started I actually started kind of really high up because I'm one of the only people in the place that I work with a degree, and I have two, so I started really high up in the company, and I have a degree in electrical engineering, which helps out a whole lot for making circuit boards, apparently. So
somehow, one way or another.
No, it's electricity stuff. That's all you need to know. And basically they were like, oh yeah, sure, we'll give you. Funny thing is, they started me out. They're like, okay, we're gonna start you out with like $15 an hour, and like I went from working for like $7 an hour to, and they're like, I hope that's gonna be enough for you. I was like, yeah,
it'll do.
No. I need more or something. Is that or just whatever. And then I got bumped up later. But pretty much everybody who worked at the company that was in the same department as me ended up getting fired for whatever reason because of the terrible management that was losing the backers of the company to the $20 million. So they lost all their money because of the old management, and then the new management came in and they pissed off all the other engineers, so they all left. And so that left me and like one other person, and that other person did some stuff to get fired. And actually Yeah, and then they moved somebody else to a different department, and so it was just me by myself. And so whenever you're the only engineer that knows what you're doing at all, you can apparently ask for more money. And all I said was like, hey, these other companies are asking about me, which was true at the time. And they're like, oh, here's more money, please take it. I was like, oh, okay.
I just wanted to bring it up. I didn't want more money, but I'll take it anyways.
Yeah, I was just asking how this company was doing, if I should take it or not. And so now they bumped me up quite a bit, and now I have my own business card. And then,
Oh, well, now you've made it.
yeah, that's how I know it. The company supplied my business card. That's how I know it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it says
fancy
engineer
pants.
on it. Yeah.
Wow.
That's fancy.
So I just feel pretty good about myself. Also, I'm the only person in Texas right now that can actually do what I do.
Oh, well, okay.
Like, there's California. I'm probably like, if I went to California, which is where all the circuit board stuff is, I would probably be like one of the worst.
Oh.
Maybe.
Well.
But being in Texas, I'm one of the top at least 5 because I do planning and camming, which
Isn't that when you
for those of y'all that don't know
Kids
any
a
about that.
camboy.
Isn't that when you masturbate on
Basically,
camera?
there's 2 different departments, planning and then camming. Camming is like CAD.
When you go on camera and then you play with yourself for money.
Yeah.
And it makes
So
that
I do
sound that's
I do
really
that while
annoying.
I'm planning.
I mean, it seems like there's money there, so, I can't blame your company for doing it.
Yeah.
CAD department is making the tools for it. So most people usually do one or the other.
I would call them toys, personally, but...
They're tools.
Talking
Yeah.
about toys, really quick. My little laugh made the shape of a butt plug, and I just thought I'd let you all know that.
What?
No, it on the audio file, it went from like really
Oh.
big to
Oh.
small, and then to
Oh.
bigger, and then it tapered off.
Okay. I didn't know what the fuck you were talking about. Okay, the audio form. Yeah, got it.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That sound I made a butt plug.
Well, you said my laugh made a butt plug, and I went, what?
Exactly. Doesn't that make perfect sense?
And I was like, did your mouth then? And I was like, how does
No,
how
it
does
was
that
my
work?
laugh.
And then I was like, I could see someone's mouth like scrunching up and becoming like a butthole, but I'm like, that? You're not gonna laugh like that? It's very confusing. So thank you for clarifying.
You're welcome. Wouldn't it be fucking cool if you laughed and then like things just were made around you,
No.
and one of those things happened to be a butt plug?
No, that wouldn't be cool. Like, being a comedian would be like the weirdest job then.
It
Just, like,
really would.
Things would just be flowing all over the place. Just butt plugs and cars and
Oh
pencils.
god, I didn't
and...
even realize big things could be made.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, would the laugh, like what you're laughing at, depict on what's being made? Because
No, I think it should just be randomized.
Well, I mean, but
Just
like,
right
You
what
get
if...
like a wheel constantly spinning, and every time you laugh, it stops, and that's it.
man, 25 people died because of this comedian who made a bus laugh.
Who made a bus laugh?
the bus goes, oh.
Well, I would assume that you would name the laugh after the object that was created, like a butt plug laugh or a bus
Yeah,
laugh.
that's what I'm thinking too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. Not like the bus itself was laughing, but the laugh ensued a bus to be created
Yes.
for random
I see.
chance.
This is the greatest
Can I say
episode.
it? I'm just like, this is work that needs to be done, and I thought maybe I'd be able to pull something up and get it done. This is not going well at all.
It really isn't.
I don't know what to do.
God, Jerry's gonna have a breakdown.
Okay, the real time I had a breakdown already. It's been happening for the
God.
last fucking week. I'm fucking losing my mind. But it's fine. I'll get over it. But I don't know how to function anymore. And I was I feel like again, I thought maybe I'd be able to pull something up and just function, pretend, act or something. I don't know. It's not happening, Doug. Ugh.
I also don't think it helps that we're off our game because one of our core members isn't here.
Right, yeah, but like from what I could tell, like he's still doing shit too, So it's like he's like working a shit ton now or whatever the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
And so it's like he would.
Doesn't he do overnights?
I don't know, but this episode was bound to be a failure. Really the best way to sum it up.
So if you shoot low, then no matter what happens, it might be higher than it. So
It's true.
yeah,
I
aim for the
guess,
worst,
maybe.
and then
I don't know, because last
something
episode
might
was
come
pretty
out.
good. And the episode before was also pretty good.
I don't even remember
Yeah.
what happened. Honestly, I've just gone. You know what happened? I wrote it down because I wrote down what happened when it. I wrote yesterday. That doesn't help. It wasn't yesterday, but at some point recently in the last couple of days, I was just gone. I was a million miles away and just freaking out constantly, looping conversations, and it was really bad. And I went to take a shower, and then I got out, and I was, drying off and all that, and my hair was still covered in shampoo. I just completely forgot to rinse
Oh my
out.
god!
And I went, oh my fucking god! I was so mad.
Oh my god!
Can you imagine? I'm just standing there. I'm sorry. I'm standing there completely naked, and I'm just like, fuck. And I have to turn back around, turn on the shower again. And the thing is, it's really hard to get the balance just right. So I'm just slightly tweaking, but the handles are kind of sticky. And so you kind of have to like just bump them a little bit. And it's really hard to get the water temperature fine. So I'm doing that again, fucking piece of shit, idiot. And I'm standing in there and I'm just like, fucking shampoo.
I can't believe you forgot to wash out the shampoo.
I
think that really says a lot.
Yeah, but I'm a fucking moron.
No.
I think your shower experience describes everybody's week.
Yeah, I think it
to a
does.
T.
Yeah, I really think it does. Everybody's just had like a not necessarily shitty week, but just like a really off week.
It's not shitty. I'm just freaking the fuck out constantly.
Yeah.
And I just
the absolute worst part of my week last week was it was Wednesday. I had to go back to work because they called me back in, and I was supposed to record with somebody, but a lot of stuff happened, so I wasn't able to. Not going to get into that. I think I went into it in happy hour. I might have been drunk at that point, but I don't remember. But basically, I got to work, and I was like, well, at least thank God tomorrow's Friday. Then it hit me that today was Wednesday, and tomorrow was not Friday. And that's whenever my day was just destroyed.
Yeah, I had that Tuesday. Because, because it was after the last episode, I hinted at the secret, TM, and just didn't know what to do with myself. And it was my last day of my winter break. And so I didn't have, I was waiting for some shit for the podcast to render, which ended up taking, all day. And so I couldn't really use my computer for editing, because that was all getting taken up. I didn't have any homework to do, because I wasn't in school yet. And I'm just sitting here with my own thoughts, and I'm thinking, and eventually at some point, I kind of transitioned to, well, at least it's the end of the week, and I'll have shit to do. And I'm like, oh, no, it's only fucking Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been the worst week, but in an almost good way. It's weird. I don't know. It's hard to describe.
I think
so.
I think
No,
the
don't
best
be a
way.
doormat. You talk.
What?
Okay, Maya, your turn. Go.
I start talking, and Kit's like, no, and I'm like, ah. Yeah, it wasn't necessarily the worst week ever, but it was an insanely stressful week for I think everybody. I think it's just the most stressful week is the best way to describe it.
I've definitely never been more stressed. So.
I think I've been more stressed.
Oh.
But
you've been more stressed than the risk of losing your job?
yeah. Whenever I was in the old management, every day I got yelled at. So.
Oh. Okay.
All right, that's fair. Yeah, that's
and
fair.
so I would go to work and be like, well, I'm gonna get yelled at for doing nothing again. Or nothing wrong again, and then I'm gonna have to prove to them that I'm not stupid. Oh, and then they stole my ideas. That was fun.
Yikes.
And they were like, no, that idea is so fucking stupid. That would never work. And they actually cussed and stuff too, which is a very professional environment. And then the next day they came back and were like, okay, here's the idea. Here's the idea plan of how to save the company. And it was my idea. I was like, what the hell? So luckily I was able to actually keep all the documents and show people hey, by the way, this was my idea.
I mean, how can you be an asshole like that? Just so blatantly.
No.
I've never understood shit like that. I don't know. I can't even picture the mindset you'd have to be in to just blatantly steal people's ideas that
rip off,
and just directly in front of them. And I feel like there's other shit I've thought of like that recently. Obviously I can't remember it because I can't remember what day is it today? Is today fucking Sunday? I don't fucking know.
I think it's Monday.
Is it? Okay.
Because I have exams tomorrow, so it's Monday. It's someday in January. That's for sure.
It's January? Oh boy, this is gonna be a year, huh?
Right? Right?
Oh god.
And January's almost over, and that's the insane thing, because it felt like the New Year's was yesterday. It's been insane. I'm stressed.
I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
Yeah. Oh, and then I can't remember what day it was. I want to say it was Friday, I think. I was at work. It was definitely Friday. I was at work and I was checking out customers like normal, and I heard one of the managers, and he was like, "Oh, hold on, I just gotta handle Maya real quick." And I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" I looked at him, and he was like, he nodded at me, and I was like, "What? Okay." And so I went to go scan the next customer's first item, and it was an alcohol product. And my manager was like, "So, you gonna show me the ID of the 2 people that you were talking to in the liquor aisle?" And then the customer was like, "What the fuck are you talking about, dude?" And then he, like, started screaming at one of the managers, and the manager was standing literally right behind me. Like, if I moved an inch backwards, I would be touching him. And I was like, and I was stuck in my little cashier box. The customer's cussing and screaming at him. My manager was like, "This is my alcohol. This is my store. You get the fuck out." Well, he didn't say fuck. He never yelled, but he was like, "I'm not gonna sell this to you." And the dude was like, "Fuck you, fuck you." And then, like, the security guy came over and he was like, "Watch your language." And I was like, that's the one thing you're gonna say right now?
It's not exactly helpful, but okay.
I was so scared. Not like that he was gonna do anything. I was just mortified of the situation that I was in, because it was like, there was like a lot of yelling. I had no idea what was going on, and it was just a mess. And I've never heard that guy, like the manager, yell before, but he did like raise his voice to like kind of match that dude. And I was like, ah!
Yeah, and if you're like stuck like directly in the middle between it,
So what was I needed to take care of Maya thing first? Was it about the alcohol thing?
He saw the customer trying to buy the alcohol, because the security guard told the manager. He was like, "Hey," the manager's name was Will. He was like, "Hey, Will, I saw this customer. He was talking to 2 minors. He was pointing to alcohol with them. It's on the security camera. Like, can you take care of this when he goes through a line?" And then Will was like, "You got it." And he did it. And then he apologized to me at my next break. Like, Will was like, "Listen, Maya, I'm really sorry that you had to go through that, but it had to be done." And I was like, "It's fine, Will. I don't blame you."
Did it though?
Sort of. I mean, yeah. I mean, if the guy was trying to buy alcohol for minors,
well,
yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's one of those things where you're like, okay, let me move the small little girl out of the way to go handle the situation, rather than cornering her in between as like a weird buffer. But
I mean, it sounds like if the guy just immediately started screaming, though, that there just wasn't the chance.
Yeah, there really wasn't. And not that, it was Friday before a super big storm we had yesterday. So everybody was there, like, trying to prepare and get, like, food so they don't have to go back out on Sunday. And so every single register was open, and we have, or not every single register, I want to say, like, 10 out of the 13 registers we have, like, 10 of them were open, and it was insane. And, like there were tons of customers behind me. There were tons of customers behind my customer, in the lane behind my customer. It was just a mess.
I hate grocery stores.
Yeah, they suck. I never want to work in one again.
Aldi's nice.
Don't you have to, like, have, like, a membership or some shit, though?
No.
Okay, I don't know.
I don't know what I'm thinking about then. Food. It's good. You have to use a quarter in order to get a cart.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, that's the bullshit.
Yeah, same thing as... That's not a bull. It's
I'm not paying money for a cart. What do I look like? Some sort of fucking millionaire?
You save like $50 a week on food. And the people are getting paid like a good amount of money, so they actually care about how you feel. They get to sit down, so they're happy.
That's some bullshit. It's how like, especially at like a retail store, like, you know, like a clothing store or whatever, where there's nobody there for most of the day. Like for me, it was at Sears, and you're just standing at a cash register for hours on end. It's like, why can't I not? Why is there no stool anywhere? Why can't I just take a seat?
Do you at least get those like little mats that like have like these little bulbs on them? I guess they're to make it more comfortable standing.
Standing mat things.
Yeah.
I don't.
You just stood on the floor, or?
I feel like I did. I don't remember. I feel
That's
like
insane.
I feel like it was just a bit of carpet, you know, like just like
even that's like crazy. Because when I was training, I had an 8-hour shift, and my trainer was teaching me how to use a cash register, but she was standing on the mat, so I was standing off of it, and the entire time, like, I wanted to cut my feet off. They hurt so fucking bad.
Well, that's just cruel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was also
trial by fire.
No, we had the cashier mats are really, really big, but she was standing right in front of the cash register, so there was only room for one more person, and I was in a group of 3, so we actually kept just taking turns But eventually it got to a point where it's like, I don't want to keep rotating, so I'll just stand here and then they can swap out once their feet start hurting.
Fuck everything, you know?
Retail just sucks.
Yeah. I've never had to work at retail, but
Really?
I've seen. I guess I worked at a gas station once.
Yeah, I feel like that counts.
retail.
I wouldn't call it.
I mean, it's like retail-ish.
Alright, yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
it's like a sit in front of a cash register for however many hours, be bored out of your mind type of job. Yeah.
Yeah, and I worked at night shift, so I got to see some crazy shit. It was
Exactly. I feel like A, night shift is different, and B, gas station customers are different. Because, like, when you're working at I don't know, grocery store, you're expected to be like really friendly, really pleasant, like not a normal human being. You're expected to be like a super mutant, nice human being. I heard that thump. What was that?
I don't know. It's I think the WWE is here.
The WWE.
I think the entirety of the WWE is above my head right now.
Yeah, like at gas stations, they're just, I don't know, everybody's just like, it's just a different aura.
Yeah, in a gas station, they kind of were like, oh yeah, no, you can just be whatever you want, and especially whenever it's night shift, nobody cares. So I got to just hang out basically for. It was rough because I stayed up from like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. or something like that. So I was like very night shift. So it was.
I think you
Or
mean service
7 p.m. to 7
7
a.m.
p.m.
Whichever.
7.
Yeah, whichever way. Whichever one encompassed the
listen,
night.
we're all out of it. We don't know where we are. I don't even know my
That's
name
fine.
right now. Okay, it's fine.
And so I would get there and people would just say weird stuff like, man, you're a fucking idiot. I'd be like, well, fuck you too. And like, nobody cared.
I wish I could tell customers that. I wish I could. I wish I could be like, fuck you. No customer is ever like specifically mean to me, but there's a lot of times when customers are mean to like the baggers, and I'm like, fuck you, they're doing their best.
What's the point of
I wanna
being
be like
mean to them? I don't. Like,
Right?
that's another
Exactly.
mindset.
I
It's
don't
like,
see what the point is.
what's the point? Fuck you. Yeah.
Like you're being unnecessarily mean to people that are trying to make your life easier, and we're getting paid
exactly.
shit to do it.
Yeah.
That's because they're sad little people that are just the worst.
Yeah.
And
The worst part is, I work at a grocery store that like a lot of rich people go to, so they're all really
Oh.
prestigious, and they're like, so I think
that's
they
even
think they're
worse.
better than us.
I'll give you a secret. They do think that they're. Sorry, we do think that you're better than.
Wow,
Because I am rich now.
rich
thank
boy
you.
Kit.
You gonna pay for GoBicker now?
No, I'm too poor.
Unlike me.
No, I went to somebody's
Rolling
house over
in
the
the
weekend, and like they have a really nice house, but like right across the street is where like the pores are, and
Okay.
The poor.
so
That's a way to
the
word it, I
pores.
guess. Okay.
And like me and my wife were walking up the door, and she was like, "Did you lock your car?" I'm like, "We're not elitists. Come on." Yes, twice.
Yeah.
Oh my
double
God.
checked. Yeah.
Well, no, it looked like that's where you would go to buy like a cocaine. It's right there. You're
cocaine?
like,
A single
I need one cocaine, please, and then they would give you that thing. I guess you sniff that one.
Debit
something.
or credit?
Is that how they're gonna like cut the line? With the...
Oh. That was good. That was a good one.
The best part about working the night shift was the different people that I would see. There's two instances that I would like vividly remember. One of them was this super drunk / high guy. He came in and he was buying some stuff. Well, actually, everybody's drunk and high whenever they come in, so that's not necessarily the outlier of the story. But like, he came in to buy some stuff, and he was like, "Man, I need some gas." I was like, "I don't know, you should be driving, but okay, yeah, sure, I'll sell you gas." And he reached in his pocket and just pulled out like just a clump of weed. Just loose
my God.
weed, just in his hand, and he was like, "Here," and I was like, "I can't accept that.
currency, sir.
That's payment."
That's
It was like,
marijuana. That's the wrong
"Oh
green.
shit, that was the wrong thing." And he put it back in and pulled out his cash, and I was like, "Okay,
Oh, all right.
good luck with your future endeavors, sir." But my favorite all-time story was drunk / high guy came in. Well, one of the weird things about the gas station I worked at is that the front door is automatic, and then the next door in you have to push open or pull open. I don't know why. Like, it makes no sense. The only reason why I can think of why is for the night shift, so that they have something to laugh at whenever the drunk people inevitably run into the door. So this guy does the good old thing that all the drunk people do is they go through the electric one and assume the next one's electric and then slams into it. And he like falls down and everybody's just kind of like sitting there laughing at him. And so he opens the door, walks in, and he's just like standing there. I don't know if he got a concussion or something, because the next thing he did was he picked up a banana and just was staring at the banana for like 10 minutes straight.
Oh.
And then like we're just like staring at, like looking at him like, okay, what's going on? So we'd start doing our other work. And then we look back at him and we just see him go, "This banana's not a carrot!" Ah! And chomps it all the way across the store and then leaves. And we're just like, okay.
What the fuck?
This banana is not a carrot. Okay, no, it wasn't.
Yeah,
Sorry for your loss. We have pickles.
I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I do think that guy might have been on something.
Yeah,
Probably.
maybe like bath salts. But he
Maybe,
eat
yeah.
the face. I think nighttime shifts are always the most fun because there's a certain point in which customers don't have that expectation anymore of how customer service people should act. And so there was one time when it was like 9:30 at night, which isn't that late, but for a grocery store, it's pretty late. And there were like 4 cashier people working. And so one customer came through and we were talking. And then like I turned around and I was like dealing with the customer. And I was like, I put on my customer service voice, which is like, "Hi, how you doing today?" And it's like literally a huge gap. And so as soon as the transaction was completed and I gave him his receipt, I immediately turned back and I was like, "So anyways, you're telling me about this guy that like fucking like groped a dog or something?"
Oh,
It's like, yeah. And then the customer's just like, "Sorry."
I'm just gonna leave.
There are a lot of weird customers. I'm sure everywhere. I'm positive everywhere.
Oh yeah,
But
100%.
Friday, I had 2 very weird customers. The first one was a guy that kept talking about like all the places that he's traveled, and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." So my hair normally, because I normally have my hair down, and it normally covers my name tag. It's just coincidental. I don't like intentionally try to hide my name. But he was like, "Oh, so what's your name?" And then I lifted my hair up and I was like, "Oh, it's Maya. It's spelled really weird, but whatever." And he was like, "No, it's fine. It's beautiful." And I was like, "Cool." And then I kept like being nice to him. And then at the end he was like, "All right, thanks, babe." And I was like, "You're like 60, dude. You gotta get out of here."
Oh no.
And then my favorite customer from now on, is a dude that came up and he bought like vodka and he had a USSR hat on, like the really fuzzy black one, and it had the little hammer and sickle logo on it, like and everything. So he was just a full-blown communist, and I was like, "Cool."
Fucking tight, dude.
Yeah. And then I heard stories about how apparently Tyler, another cashier, like a customer comes through his line that's like a full-blown, like straight up Nazi. Like he's got the emblem like tattooed on his like collarbone area so that he can see it. And Tyler's just like,
Well, that's fun.
It's a windmill, dude. It's totally a windmill.
windmill.
They just haven't finished it yet.
I heard a story this weekend. Did you guys see anything on Twitter about that guy, H-Bomber guy, who's streaming for, like, he streamed for, like, 53 hours for a charity? Did you see anything about that?
Was it the guy that streamed for Donkey Kong?
Yeah,
He streamed Donkey Kong? Yeah, I saw that. He's streaming for trans charity.
Yeah, there's a charity called Mermaids, where that like helps trans kids in the UK. Anyway, so somebody had told a story at some point in there about how, like, because they basically did that whole stream out of spite, and something kind of similar happened in Maine, and I was like, well, shocker, because it was the KKK came rolling through some town in Maine, and they're like, hey, fuck gay people, fuck these trannies, fuck everything, blah 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 blah, and then suddenly, I guess probably out of spite or something, like that bit of the state kind of just started donating to these charities like crazy to like be like, hey, fuck you, KKK.
That's good. That makes me happy. I didn't hear about the KKK thing.
I don't know when it was, but for all I know, it was all made up too. I don't know, but I'm just messenger. I don't know.
I can't find any news articles on it, so I'm gonna take your word for it. Because it would not shock me if there were KKK members in Maine. Yeah, it really doesn't surprise me. Like my best friend Madeline, like she was like, yeah, my great grandfather, whatever, was a fucking dragon, or which is like a high position in the KKK, and she was like, we don't like to talk about him.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, that's
Dragon
fucking
is like
understandable.
the leader of
Yeah. He was like really high
sect
up in
of
the
it.
KKK.
That's fun. God,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Have you ever realized there's just some things, it's like ever since this one person did something very, very awful, like names will just die out. Like I've only heard of one case of somebody meeting somebody named Adolf after World War II. And that was a really weird situation. My friend Ben was in South Portland, which is it's our most populated city, and it was at night, and there was a blind man in the street, and he was like kind of like wobbling, and then he was like, Ben's mom was like, get out of the car and go help him. And Ben was like 13 at the time, and so
Oh, no.
his mom was like kind of driving alongside just to make sure nothing like really bad happened. So Ben was like walking this dude, and he was like, oh, like I'll help you get to this place. And then they finally got to the place, and he was like, my name's Adolf, what's your name, little girl? And then Ben was like,
I mean, how do you even...
Stalin?
How do you respond?
Yeah, it was just like, that's the only situation I've heard somebody's named Adolf.
I mean, wasn't it a popular name before the big
It
one?
was, yeah, it was like extremely popular, especially in
common name.
Austria and Germany.
One of the names that, like, if me and my wife had a daughter, one of the names that we were going to name our child, which we can't do now, is that if it was a girl, we were going to call her Isis.
Oh, no.
After
Yeah, you probably
the
can't do that.
Egyptian
Yeah.
goddess Isis, because it's a really nice name, and then some people fucked it up for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew someone named Isis. Yeah, nice name. And also on Archer for the organization that Archer worked for was called ISIS, like spelled the same way and everything. And then all of a sudden, ISIS happened. So
And they're like, oopsies.
So I saw a name recently that I'm going to type it in here so that y'all can see, and then you tell me how it's supposed to be pronounced.
Oh, it was, fuck, I remember
Absidy.
seeing this. It was like,
Yeah, Absidy.
yeah.
Like, huh?
Yeah, wasn't the flight attendant, she like made fun of the kid or she
Yeah,
laughed at the
something-
kid's name?
something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
which, that's wrong, sure, but
I mean-
you named the kid A, B, C, D,
Yeah.
E. Come on.
Like, you should expect that. I
Come
would
on,
expect it.
So you're setting up the kid for that.
It's like
now.
we've all been kids in elementary school. We know how kids in elementary school think, and you're just gonna cause problems if you name your kid fucking Absidy or fucking mayonnaise or whatever the
Chernobyl.
fuck.
Name it Absidy, not that spelling, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
If you really like the name. But we looked at, me and my wife looked at baby names at one point just because we're like, oh, just in case, let's be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
And so we looked at common names and uncommon names, and one of the names that we found that was actually medium common, which surprised the fuck out of us, was O-R-O-R-O-R. Ororo. Somebody out there has named their kid Ororo.
It's
Ororo.
it's Tim Allen's daughter.
Sounds like you're talking to it sounds like you're talking to a dog.
Oh yeah. And the dog's like,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a name that's out there. And if you're watching Ororo, I apologize for making fun of your name. But really,
but you're a good girl.
yeah,
That's it.
Jesus.
good girl. But
Roll over.
One of the things I've always wanted to do
Shake.
is my last name is Gibson and first name is Michael. So I kind of wanted to name my kid Oliver and give him the middle name Michael. That way it would be OMG.
Jesus. It could work with
Yeah,
a girl too. It could be Olivia.
Oh yeah, Ororo.
Hey, you guys,
Aurora.
Michelle.
you guys,
Aurora Michelle Gibson.
Yeah,
You
OMG.
guys-
Oh my god.
you guys should never reproduce.
Yeah, it's true. It's absolutely true.
I think I mentioned this, how my family has just done weird things with names. Like, my name is Michael Douglas, MD, so medical Dr. Gibson. That's their actual thinking of naming me that, was like MD Gibson. And then my brother is a JR, so it's JRG, so JR Gibson Jr.
My cousin's named after Rachel from Friends.
Nice.
Like, they specifically are like, yeah, you're named after Rachel
Yeah,
from Friends.
yeah.
That's so
I
weird.
asked my mom recently if I was named after Michael Douglas, and I was sad that she said no.
I mean, are you not though? I mean,
Apparently I'm not. Like, she didn't even think of that at all. She said that I was named after Michael Keaton, whose real name is Michael Douglas, and he had to change it because of you can't have more than one
yeah.
duplicate names in the whatever it's called.
The Screen Actors
Acting
Guild or whatever.
Acting Guild, yeah.
I have a friend that was also named after Michael Keaton, but his first name is Keaton, so they just took Keaton.
Well, I wasn't actually named after Michael Keaton.
Oh.
But she was saying that as a joke because that's her type of humor.
Oh, I'm dense as fuck. Did you know that 2 of my names are spelled wrong? My first name and my middle name.
I knew your first name was spelled wrong.
What is the normal way to spell Maya? Because I don't feel like I've ever seen that name in my life.
It's normally Mya or Mia.
I feel like I would have
Those
said
are
Mia.
Mya is very Maya is also very common.
M-A-Y. Oh yeah, okay.
Maya,
Yeah.
like Maya is the most common form of Maya instead of
Yeah.
Mia. I didn't realize that my middle name was misspelled until I looked up somebody that had the same name and I spelled their name wrong. It's a name that commonly has E at the end of it. Mine does not.
Well, if you're not gonna say it, why bring it up? All right.
Because I hate telling people my middle name. I don't know why. Just I like keeping that secret. Nobody knows what my middle name is. But then again, you guys don't know what my last name is, so I might as well tell you my middle name. It's Corinne. Corrin. It's weird. It doesn't look right.
So how? I guess would it? Oh, it normally have an E. Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So it's not that wrong, but yeah, okay. It's like,
not that, but it
is.
still
It
looks
is sort of like a typo,
a little
though.
off. I love to harass my mom about it. I love it. It's like, and she's like, "Well, at least I spelled the last name right." And I was like, "Yeah, at least you did."
Maybe.
No, I'm pretty sure she did.
Pretty sure. Yeah. Well, everyone makes mistakes, though. You know what I mean?
That's true. Have I told you guys the story? I feel like I have. I've told a lot of people the story of how my name got so fucked up. And it's...
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
Did your name get drunk and get into a fight?
Oh, no.
Got fucked up, man.
So, yes, my name got fucked up. It
Oh.
got punched a lot.
I just noticed I never actually started recording the video, so it's a good thing I'm streaming.
Oh,
Yeah.
Chris, are you running this?
Chris, hello?
Alcohol.
Holy shit.
Todd
You're back?
Howard.
You can't... How was the emergency?
Teeth Howard Todd. Teeth Howard Todd.
Tea. So my dad was in the military for like 5 years. I don't know how long he was in there for. But he had just come back from a little mission thingy. He was in the Navy, and so he had just come back from sea, and my mom just went into labor, and my dad hadn't eaten anything at all that day. And so he went to the hospital, and he was freaking out, and he was like, my second child is being delivered. And my grandma was like, I know what to do. Since you haven't eaten, here's some spaghetti. And so he was eating spaghetti while I was being delivered. And the nurse was like, your baby, your daughter's born. Do you want to cut her umbilical cord? And my dad was like, yep. And he snipped, and he was like, cool. And then he ran outside and threw up because it was the umbilical cord and the spaghetti, and he was just like, bleh. Which is understandable. And then my mom was hyped up on pain meds. She was gone. And then they had talked about how they wanted my name to be spelled. They were torn between Mya and Mia. They knew it wanted to be Maya, but they couldn't decide which one. And so my mom had no baby daddy around. And so her husband wasn't there, I should probably have said.
Yeah, I mean...
And they were and are married.
That's your father.
Yes. Well, I didn't want to say she had no father around, because then, why would her... Well, her father was there. Anyways, my dad wasn't around, because he was throwing up. And then my mom was like, all right, Mya, Corrin, correct last name.
Yeah.
And I was
as you're telling that story, I thought 100% you were going to say something about, Maya spaghetti.
Maya spaghetti.
That's kind of what I was thinking, too. I was
like,
oh,
are you really
going to be the best
fucking...
story ever?
That's really how this is going to happen. But okay.
No.
All right.
Sadly. I wish it could be Maya spaghetti.
And they'd be like, what? Maya? Okay. And then...
No, I think the funniest plot twist is that my dad was eating spaghetti during child labor.
Yeah.
And then he threw up.
That whole cutting the umbilical cord thing always kind of seems weird to me. I know that if my wife ever has a kid, and hopefully it'll be mine,
Hopefully, ideally.
the baby will come out, and they'll be like, do you want to cut the umbilical cord? I'll be like, no, I really don't. I'm not trained for this.
Now, I wonder if that would actually be true, though. Because, I mean...
And oh God, it's gross and nasty.
Right, but, I mean... You hear from literally every parent that once you actually see your kid, everything changes. So
yeah, and I think everything will change, and I'll be like, yeah, okay, maybe I might be able to clean the diaper, but I'm not cutting that umbilical cord because I don't want to fuck that up. I don't want that to be the first thing that happens when the kid comes out, is that I fuck up the umbilical cord, and then they hate their belly button for the rest of their life, and I know that I was the one that made that happen.
Well, no, you're just cutting, like, the middle of it. They're the one that takes care of the rest, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, they're like, you cut it wrong, so we're going to have to make it an outie, and,
Besides, I think they give you the task that you could fuck up the least, just so that you feel a part of the pregnancy, or the child labor, rather.
Oh, I already feel a part of it. I made half of it, hopefully. Yeah, so, I don't need to cut anything, and just, it'll be squishy and gooey, and... And I'm gonna die on that mountain too. Like if I ever have a kid and then you'd be like, yeah, I bet y'all cut it. I'll be like, no, I didn't. I wanted to, but out of spite.
Out of spite, I couldn't. The entire idea of childbirth just is absolutely disgusting. Everything about it is horrible.
What are you talking about? It's beautiful. An entire human comes out of a vagina. What?
Exactly. A watermelon comes out of a tiny hole, and it rips the hole, and sometimes it rips the hole to the anus, and then you've just got a one mondo hole. That's horrific. And you've got poop everywhere because the woman poops. That's just the miracle of life. A woman shits on her baby as soon as it comes out.
Isn't it glorious?
There's blood everywhere. Sometimes the mom dies. That's cool, I guess.
That's fun, yeah.
There's vomit sometimes on the father's part. It's just nothing about it seems cool.
Yeah, I'm not very great with it. There's a reason why I didn't become a doctor and I became an electrician. There's less goo.
A lot less goo.
If done right, there's less goo. I think if something went horribly wrong, if I'm like, well, okay, there's goo everywhere.
And then you got the people that eat the placenta, and it's like,
yeah, that's a bridge too far. It's like, be normal. Come on, what the fuck are you doing? Enough.
Back in fucking, we were all Neanderthals, right? That's understandable because it's like there's a ton of nutrients in the placenta. If the mom eats it, she has enough nutrients to successfully feed her child. We're living in the 21st century, dog. We have plenty of nutrients to go around. You don't need that. It's nasty.
Can I get this placenta cooked and maybe put in some spaghetti or something?
People do it. People do that. They take the placenta and then they cook it at home, and it's like nasty. You're nasty.
I wonder how many meals that can make. Is that like 1 or 2 meals? Like, can you stretch it out for a week and like you just don't have to buy groceries for a week?
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. If that were the case, if you didn't have to buy groceries for a week, all right, that's understandable. But then again, that's all coming out of your uterus.
I feel like after a week though, you would be like, man, I'm so tired of eating placenta. Then, guess I have to eat leftovers again.
The more I think about childbirth, the more I fucking hate uteruses. They suck. Nothing's good about them. Nothing.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like it's a really crucial part of the human body, specifically the human female body, and it's like a barely functional mess.
Well, no, that's the thing. It functions too much.
Did
you know? This is like the thing I hate. Every person that has a uterus hates periods. That's just everybody knows that. Mm-hmm. Sometimes periods are worse than others for depending person to person. That's just how life goes. Do you know what I fucking found out freshman year of high school? That, when you bleed all that stuff out, the way that it comes out is because your uterus closes off all the veins or the arteries going to it, and it writhes around, and that's why you get cramps, and your uterus is literally suffocating itself. And every single time I have my period, I think about that. I think about my uterus just just wiggling around in there, and I'm like, stop it,
enough, this is enough.
Yeah, that's the weird part though. Sometimes if you punch your stomach, it feels better, which I don't think should work.
That doesn't sound like it should work, no.
Sometimes.
But it's funny, we talked about it on the Bodies Are Dumb episode 20 years ago. But yeah, it's just how did this happen? Where in evolution why did this fuck up like that? It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, well, let's make this a little bit easier by maybe making it so they do not come out of that hole. Oh god, no, we messed up, we spilled.
Yeah, when did it make more sense to develop just a shade that you could just pull up and you're like, baby. Like,
Yeah, that.
and there's
It
no
would-
pain or suffering. It's just there.
Exactly.
Done.
The other great part that would be is if uterus wasn't like a time thing, like every single time, like every once a week or once a month, every week for 1 week, you have to bleed if you are not baby ready. I wish it was like a penis where it's just like you do something and then you produce an egg rather than you drop an egg.
Exactly. Yeah, like that seems like the much more efficient way to get things done.
It would be
Like,
so much more
I feel like
efficient.
that would be way more efficient, but the thing is, like, I feel like the egg takes way more preparation than just squirting out some junk. Like the egg,
but like
I
if
have
you-
to make
if
a
you do
perfect
you
cocoon
collect
to harvest and keep like sacred so that something can grow inside of it. While men are just like, take this shit.
yeet.
But like if you treat it,
Yeet.
if your body treated them both the same way, where it's like, listen, we got here's the eggs.
That is a good point. The point of a period is like all the blood that's in there has been building up for a month so that it has a nice cushioning around so your egg like sticks to the wall if it's fertilized. And if it's not, it's like, well, I wasted my time here. And your body gets angry.
All right,
And
shove it all out. We don't need
and
it
then there's
anymore.
there's another thing, like
All of this work that I did.
exactly. Dudes can have babies like all the time unless, there's an unfortunate situation where you're infertile. But ladies, like as soon as you're born and your eggs are like ready, like your clock is ticking, dog. If you don't have a baby by 40, you're donezo. You ain't getting one. And that's like why are you like this?
Yeah, I mean like.
Well, it's not 40. It's like when you go through menopause, you're donezo. Like you have no more eggs left to give.
Yeah.
And that's the other worst part. Like, not only is it that, we're like, it sucks all the time, all of our eggs are being wasted, and like, we only have like a finite amount of eggs. You guys produce sperm. Like, where's the fairness in that? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense.
It's not all rainbows for us too. I mean,
you get blue balls if you don't jack off. Like, oh, boo-hoo.
And even then, it's
have
like,
you ever had a
I
wet
don't
dream? That's no fun.
Yeah, girls have wet dreams too.
know. It's and also like it's still.
It's not nearly as much of a mess, but
If you get kicked in the balls, it hurts. I guess.
But,
that's pretty.
hey.
You
Hey,
have
I've
to
been kicked in
deal
the
with
vagina
women
before.
whenever they're
I've been
pregnant.
kicked. Listen,
It's
here's
the
the thing.
same thing.
I'm gonna say a word that makes a lot of people uncomfortable. The clitoris has 8,000 nerve endings in one spot. It hurts like a motherfucker if you get kicked there. Because I did get kicked there, and it hurt. It was a gym class. It was soccer, and I'm scarred.
Kicked in the clit.
I got kicked in the clit.
Does clitoris make
and it
people
hurt.
uncomfortable?
A lot of people hate it when I say the word, and I only say the word in like when I'm discussing vaginas, like in a scientific way.
When else would you say clitoris? I mean,
Exactly.
I feel like guys don't like the word clitoris because they can't find it, and so they're
Exactly.
ashamed by
They
it.
get triggered. They're like,
Yeah, they're like, oh god, it doesn't exist. It's fake.
yeah. And there's another thing that's really weird about the human body. I'm just gonna go on a rant about all the things that
Yeah.
are weird about human
Yeah,
body.
let's fuck the
Why
human
is
body.
the male G-spot in the asshole? Like, why is it there?
for like a little extra fun time. I don't know.
Yeah, so
I
that
just don't understand
you can
the
stick your
purpose of
finger
it
up your
being up
butt,
there.
and then
Yeah, you got a finger up there.
I said too much.
Yeah.
Because it's like we have a reason for everything. There's almost always a reason for stuff. All right, our appendix. We
What is
don't
it,
really
the
need
appendix?
Yeah, the
Tonsils?
appendix. But we needed our appendix before when we ate different things. Like, I don't know, it functioned in the digestive system before, but we evolved to not need it anymore. And then tonsils used to protect against strep throat, and then they fuck up and then make you die on the inside. Then you gotta get them removed. But it's like the G-spot, I would assume that it makes you want to have sex to reproduce. Like, that's my only assumption. Like, I don't see the reason for why there's a clitoris either, because there's no point to it other than what I assume would be to coerce you to have sex and reproduce.
But like the G spot's not gonna do that either. Just like it's gonna go boop boop.
Well, for the
and then
female
and then you're like
G-spot.
flunk, and then that's
Yeah.
it. You're done. You
The female G-spot would, I assume, make you want to have sex.
I think it's supposed to be like a target, so that because if the female climaxes during sex, then it can actually make it so that people are more fertile. So the G-spot is to help show that you're aligned correctly.
But that doesn't explain the male G-spot, though. Is that not what we're talking about?
I was talking
she said
about like the female G-spot makes
there.
sense. I just have no why does the male
yeah.
G-spot exist? At all?
So that we'll have butt sex more. Yeah.
And that actually, that could make a lot of sense.
I feel like monkeys are always like fucking each other, and we're like
That makes a lot.
related.
It's like a counter to over reproduction. It's like, hey.
Yeah,
listen,
I mean, I guess if you take into account that dudes are always wanting to bone, just like all the time, like no matter what. Like there's that thing
let's
people
just put it in guys' butts so that they'll stop making more babies. Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah, because I know people say like. I think there's a Seinfeld joke about this, and that because they're talking about masturbating. Anyway, it's kind of that I don't know where I'm going with it, but fucking.
You know, one of the weird things that I actually thought about today, because I have to dress nice now, so I wear a lot more clothes. I was like, I know girls have it rough, okay, and like guys typically have absolutely nothing to complain about, but clothes. Now I know that girls don't have pockets, and that's a shame. But I wish I could wear a dress to work. Wear 3 things: underwear, a bra, a dress. That seems amazing. Maybe socks.
It is. It's great. And while you were saying guys have nothing to complain about, I wanted to be like, well, no. Like, there's tons of things that guys have to complain about. And it's like, oh, you can't, like, display your emotions as much. And, oh, you can't wear what you really want to wear. And dresses is one of those. Dresses are great, except if you have, like, bigger thighs. Because then you get, like, the what women call the chub rub, which is when your thighs rub together and they have like a little rash and it hurts like a motherfucker. And I can only assume, I don't know, I would assume maybe it would feel the same way. Like, I don't know, because you have a penis, so would you like constant? But then you have underwear on, so I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I think if you have support there, or if you wear boxers, I mean, it's about the same.
Yeah, boxers would be great. We don't have boxers. Our underwear goes very high up, so.
Well, I think it depends on the style, because there's boy shorts, and then there's.
That's why girls wear a lot of.
And then there's thongs, which do right up.
What's the point of a thong? I've never understood.
It's for a particular type of dress. That way that it doesn't show any of the lines.
I also think they just look
like.
They just look fantastic.
Isn't comfort more important, though? I can't imagine it's nice having something right up your ass like that.
No.
Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
It's all about the looks.
I wouldn't know.
All right, let's get you a G-string, and then you'll understand.
Okay, fine. If you insist.
Yeah, so a lot of girls will wear, like, little shorts. Little tiny, like, really tight shorts under dresses so that you can't really tell that it's there, and it protects your thighs from hurting.
Oh, that's okay. I've seen those hanging up in the laundry room. I'm like, I've never seen anyone wearing these. That'd be why.
They're very comfortable.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense now. Yeah.
Yeah, you just put them on under a skirt or a dress.
But wait, my sisters don't wear skirts or dresses. So when are they wearing them?
They can also just be athletic shorts. That's typically what girls wear.
Okay, well, if they're athletic shorts, then it's I definitely know who they belong to then. Because one of them's a blueberry.
Mystery solved.
Sorry, I just saw an opportunity to shit on one of my sisters, so
Aw.
No, I understand, I think.
Anyway, not important. It's not important.
Anyway, yeah, dresses are nice.
Yeah, I think I would go tranny if I wasn't married. Just because I would get to wear a dress.
Didn't we already have the discussion that we shouldn't be saying tranny anymore?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm old and just stuck in my ways.
That word popped up in my D&D session. My friend Connor, who doesn't... Well, all right, he doesn't normally say, like, bad stuff like that. Even though it's not, like, bad, it's still bad. And I have this reputation of not putting up with words that you should not say. Anytime that my friend Ben says the N-word just to irritate me, I do choke him out.
That's so fucked up.
Damn.
Yeah, like, I stopped caring. I used to just, like, give them, like, dirty looks. I used to, like, smack them. But, like, I've resorted to choking them. Because it's just, like, stop saying it. You're so white. You cannot say that word. Yeah. My friend Connor said the T word, and then I had to choke him out. Only a little bit. I didn't actually, like, choke. I just kind of, like... It's like the Homer Bart Simpson, except I don't put my hands... Like, I don't, like, close my hands around the neck. I just put it on their neck and then I shake, which could do some brain damage, but...
So you don't actually choke them out?
Yeah,
I like kind of... I'm basically just shaking them by the neck.
So you're just playfully choking them?
Which maybe...
It's gonna resort to me actually choking them.
I don't, it sounds like at the moment, they're just like, oh, this is how I can get some attention. Tranny. And then
N-word. Oh no, I'm being choked.
Oh God. Oh no. Oh, that's saying like, oh dude, what if I choked somebody out and I got a boner? I would be like, no. I would have to kill myself.
So speaking of getting choked out, I got choked out once when I was in wrestling.
Sexually? Or okay.
Well, I mean, it's wrestling, so.
Well,
Everybody knows wrestling is sexual.
Have you ever seen it?
it's not though.
Listen, I've seen pictures, doggy dog. I called my dad doggy dog the other day, like, by accident. Like
Doggy dog.
I was like, "Listen, doggy dog," and it just happened.
Like the weirdest thing about it though is that it's super not sexual for something that you would think would be super sexual, because like all the positions you're in are like so sexual looking, but whenever you're actually there doing all the stuff, that it's so athletic and stuff that you don't have any time to think of anything like that it is far from it. And not just saying that because I'm a wrestler, I'm trying to defend it, but no, it's whenever you're doing it, it's like, well, I couldn't get a boner if I wanted to. Like, it's so much energy that you're putting out.
I've never done wrestling. I don't think I can do wrestling, because I think if I did do wrestling, I'd get a boner. I'd be like, nope.
Like,
it is 6 minutes of the most intense workout ever. And so, like, you physically don't have enough energy to put the blood into your erectile area to cause it to engorge. Mm-hmm. Basically, you can't pop a boner because it's not enough.
I can't do boners good because I'm very tired.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is, if I have a boner, I need to do wrestling moves. No, I'll lose
just
it.
Alone, just
alone, just like pretend.
Roll around going. Yarr.
Well, what I'm saying,
and then I somehow managed to lose again.
If you get a boner while wrestling, you're doing wrestling wrong, unless it's with somebody that you want to get a boner with. Then you're doing it.
Well,
right.
she just said that she's sitting there. Boner's already happened, so then she's going to wrestle in order to get rid of the boner.
No, I feel like there's other ways to get rid of it.
Well, listen, yes, there's other ways to get rid of it, but that's not the fucking joke.
But I'm asking specifically about the wrestling. It's about the beans, the cone. What does that mean? It's from The Office.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, I guess you can wrestle to get rid of a boner.
I'll keep that in mind next time I get a boner. I don't know when that will be, if it'll ever be. But
you're welcome. I'm glad that we solved this problem. Remember, if you get a boner, just wrestle. Problem solved. There you go. Solving just in the middle of the class, you're presenting, and then all of a sudden one pops up. Just tackle somebody and
dive over
fucking get them in a
desk.
chokehold. Like, what the hell's going on? I got a boner. Just leave me alone.
I'm so glad. In my entire school, entire high school career and middle school career, I've never once been in a class where a student goes up and presents and they have a boner. I'm so glad that has never happened.
It never happened to me either.
I still have an entire semester for it too, but I don't want it.
It doesn't happen as much as like rumors say.
Yeah, I don't even feel like I've ever even heard of that happening outside of like fiction.
Yeah, it's just only been like or in like, oh, you might get boner in embarrassing spots. It totally happens, and like it never does.
Okay.
Oh, I do have one time though.
Oh, I kind of want to hear that story, but I don't know if I should say my story first. Just completely.
You go first. I'll remember.
So a few episodes ago, I was like, oh man, I'm so glad. Like I finally get to go through my entire life saying no student has ever gotten pregnant at my school. Nope, that bubble was fucking bursted for me Friday when a classmate in English told me, oh yeah, did you hear about that sophomore that's 5 months pregnant? And I was like, fuck you! There's no way! I was so close! I have 1 semester left and they ruined it. I wanted to go my entire life with being able to say, yeah, nobody in my school ever got pregnant.
I'm kind of
Are you
surprised.
sure nobody got pregnant, or you just didn't know about them getting pregnant?
Okay, nobody in my school ever had a baby as a teen, is what because nobody's done that.
God,
But I'm sure people have gotten pregnant.
There's like 4 in my senior year, I feel like. If not more.
It
Oh,
happens
God,
a
was there
lot.
more?
In middle
Hold
school,
on.
there was like at least 6.
6
That I know
kids
of.
gave birth in middle school?
Yeah,
There was one in my middle
Jesus
school.
Christ.
Yeah. I think I was
Okay,
in-
I think
it's
alright,
very common.
I think it ties back to your sex ed because in Maine we're like really progressive with sex ed. Like we had sex ed starting at 5th grade. So before middle school, they taught us about the birds and the bees. They taught us like, oh, this is what happens if you have sex. And they were like, don't get pregnant, kids. Like there's tons of birth control. You don't need to get pregnant. Please do not. Because we have at our middle school, we had like a second building that, because our middle school was very, very populated. And so it would be like 6th grade and 8th grade was in the main building. 7th grade was in the second building. And so apparently that second building wasn't always for that. It used to be a daycare for the students that had children. Not necessarily for middle school students, but for high school students. But they just changed it from a daycare to like an extra building for the middle school.
Yeah, I can see that. I live in Texas, of course, so our sex ed was don't do it. It'll solve all the problems. And so nobody knows what condoms are or anything like that, which is horrible thing. Also, there is a very large group of people. I'm trying not to sound racist by saying this, but there's a very large group of people that are highly religious, and part of the religious says that they're not allowed to use condoms.
Yeah, Catholics and Mormons, and most Christians on that end. But Catholics specifically.
Usually, the upper class Catholics are like, no, totally use condoms. It's lower class Catholics that are like, nah, we don't need to use them because one, it's free to not use them.
As a middle class Catholic, I don't think I've ever talked about condoms ever. And it's just the idea. The idea. Maybe this might just be a Minnesotan thing, but it's just like, let's just not talk about it. Actually, let's just not talk about sex, whether it's being abstinent or having sex or safe sex. Just no. Let's just not.
That's
beneficial.
We do like scare tactic. We're like, you have to be abstinent, otherwise your penis will fall off and you'll die, and you don't want that. And we're like, what the fuck?
No, in 6th grade they were like, oh, like you can be abstinent. That's your first choice. That you'll never have a baby if you're abstinent. However, if you choose to have sex, there's condoms, there's birth control, there's like the coil thing that you stick up a uterus, and it's like copper. There's the thing that you stick into your arm. There's the female condom. Like they told us every single way in like 6th grade. They were like, these are all the ways you can prevent pregnancy if you choose to have sex.
Yeah, they separated the guys from the girls, put them in separate rooms, and then they showed a video that was a cartoon that was like, this is a penis and this is a vagina, but we're not going to talk about these because you don't need to worry about these until you're older. And so this thing right here will sometimes cause an erection, but it's fine. It just happens. And then you never stick this into this or else you'll die.
And you're like, okay, makes sense.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. What about condoms? Nope, you don't need them because you're never gonna. You don't know. You don't need to use them because you're gonna be abstinent until you're 50 and married. Yeah. That's life.
That's how we all do it.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, well, if they say so.
Oh, wow, look at this at this young. I can't even talk to girls.
Does he keep cutting out for you too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just know it'll be there on Audacity, so I'm like, even though I have no idea what you're saying.
And then you're like, oh my god, what did he just say?
What?
Oh, why did I agree to that?
Yeah, and you're like, never mind. It's funny, you can't say like an example of a bad thing without saying a bad thing. So I'm just gonna not.
It's smart. It's a smart move because then somebody could just isolate the audio.
Yeah, like me.
Oh, I can't. You said that one bad thing. It's a good thing I've never said anything bad.
What was the thing about the dogs that you isolated that Chris, or you like edited to make it sound?
Yeah, I said Chris wants to bone his dog.
I'm boning my dog, dude.
What? You hate us for saying that you shouldn't bone your dog?
I want to bone my dog.
So he didn't actually say that. You like made it. Oh, it actually sounded like he said that in one fluid sentence.
Like you.
Oh, good times with Chris boning his dog.
He's a pervert, let me tell you. As long as,
Yeah.
real talk, ladies and gentlemen, that boy's a pervert.
Oh, hey, Chris, how you defend yourself?
Todd Howard.
Looks like you're out boning your dog, so that's the reason why you're not here.
Wow, it was really interesting, Chris. Yeah, you guys notice that he goes to Charlotte all the time? He's always talking about, I'm going to Charlotte this week.
I think it's because it's the only recognizable place in the South. That's not true. But in South Carolina. Or wait, I thought Charlotte was in North Carolina. No, I don't know.
Yeah, Charlotte's in North Carolina. I don't know.
So what was your awkward boner story?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what was your awkward bonus
It's
story?
really bad for me.
Oh, God.
But oh, shit. See, this is one of those things you don't necessarily want to put out in the public, but guess I'm doing
Too
it.
bad.
Hey, do it for the view.
For the view. Oh, yeah. It's just for you, Tim.
The one.
Oh, wait, two. We got Tim and Pine.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
So my dad used to take me down to the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul, because he would go down there for work or whatever. Well, I think this time he had to go down to the Veterans Hospital down there because for whatever reason, instead of doing the one that's 20 minutes away, they're like, just go drive 3 hours and you'll be fine. And at that point, I was a piece of shit. I mean, not much has changed, but I was a worse piece of shit. And so my mom was like, you need to take him with you or I will fucking leave you. or she'll murder me or whatever. Cause again, awful. So yeah, I go with, and I think it was on the way back up then. It was like in the middle of summer. So I'm wearing like basketball shorts or something. And I'm like, like 12 or 13. I was just like, oh, hey, little buddy. You've chosen a really bad time to pop up, literally. And so I'm sitting there, very loose shorts. I guess maybe out of fear or something, it's like what we in the biz call a semi, and I'm like, because I know if this gets any worse, I'm wearing basketball shorts, and my dad could be like, look at the other mirror and be like, excuse me, what's happening? so I'm just sitting there for it's like a 3-hour ride, and probably for an hour and a half, I'm sitting there like, just fucking stop, go away, and I'm like flexing everything, trying to get blood anywhere else, and it's not working. And I don't know. I've got to keep conversation, act natural, and I'm like, just fucking stop it. Like I'm adjusting, kind of slightly, kind of trying to put my leg up in a certain way, but not look like I'm trying to hide anything. And
why don't you just put your hands on your lap over your?
Because then I look like I'm covering a boner. I gotta keep it really inconspicuous.
Do you guys not just normally have your hands over your lap?
Well, here, but I guess, yeah, I do. But here's another risk, though. Again, it's what we call a semi. If I put my hands on there, I'm 13 or 12 or whatever. It's gonna get a little bit more blood going.
That's fair.
So like,
God, something touched me.
Oh. It was terrible. And I think that was my only experience with that kind of thing, though. Luckily, thank God.
My worst one that I ever had was in choir.
Oh no.
Like, we were all just sitting down, and like I remember this specifically because people were joking about the teacher getting a boner.
And you're like,
and then you had a
trying
boner?
to hide it. And then like all of a sudden, like I'm like, oh well, okay, this is happening. Let's joke about that. And so I would like joke along with him, be like, oh yeah, he's like trying to hide it too.
And you're hiding. Oh no.
And I'm like perfectly pushing things down and like hiding.
Oh no.
And I was like, okay, cool. I played that one off, and I'm sure they all knew, but
I don't
they
know.
were actually making fun of me.
Kids are fucking dumb, so.
Yeah, so
That's
hopefully I'm good. I was just like, it's choir, why is it going? We were talking about boners, and of course you're like, oh, did somebody call my name? I'm here.
Boner man.
Boner man to the rescue. They ruined your day.
This is another reason why I wish I had a penis, because like then I could relate with awkward boner stories, but I can't.
You have worse stories. You don't
Yeah,
need awkward
I have
boner stories.
Fucking terrible stories about one time I was walking through the halls in high school, and here's the weird part. I was walking to my history class, and I walked past my homeroom teacher, and I waved to him, and it was cool. And then I walked into my history class, and then I sat down, and my history teacher came up to me, and she was like, Maya, I just want to let you know, somebody told me that you have blood on your butt.
Oh no.
And I was like, and I didn't think of it much, and I was like, oh, thank you for telling me. And I ran and I changed, and it was great. And then I thought about it later, and I was like, who could have seen that? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, who could have seen the blood aside from just looking at my butt? And then I was like, oh no, the only person I passed was my homeroom teacher. I was like, oh no, it was
That's
really
awful.
bad. I think it was probably like, I don't know. I've never been in the situation where I see somebody as a blood stain. So I don't know if it's like obvious to tell without looking at the butt, or like it like draws attention to the butt, or what. I don't know what it is.
That's my only like the good thought that can come out of this for me is like, you like if something is discolored, you just kind of like your brain just like miscolor, patterns off, alert.
I'm gonna hope it was that.
Yeah.
I have like a huge fear of something similar to that. Like I'll never have to deal with that, of course. Hopefully.
You never know.
Ideally, otherwise
Hopefully.
you have like hemorrhoids and it's bad.
That'll be bad things if I have to deal with that. But like I saw a picture once, and everybody's probably seen this picture now, but it's of this rather overweight lady who like has flies just all up in her crack.
It's something I have, and I kind of don't want to.
No.
So.
Yeah, I don't really want to see
Y'all
that.
are lucky. But it's like, oh, she doesn't realize that she's such a slob that flies are just all up there. And now I have like a fear every time I go outside, like, oh no, what if some reason flies decided they were attracted there? And then I'm just going to be walking around with something on my butt and then flies are all over there. And I'm going to be that next meme. Like I have, I have weird fears.
But like, I guess
that's a pretty reasonable fear.
I wouldn't say it's a reasonable fear
because I can't see my own butt, so I don't know what it looks like. So I don't know if I like set in mustard or.
Oh yeah. I see. Like I guess in my head, like I guess the good thing about that fear is that you make sure you're extra clean, and there's nothing wrong with that. But like I guess you can't help if you like sat in something by accident. So
yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking about like if you sat in something on accident.
Or when you get older, you fart and more stuff comes out than you want it to, and you're like, oh no.
I got really close to that last night. Just
okay.
It's always like, you're like half asleep and you're like, something brewing, and then I'm like, nope, that's enough. Abandon that ship.
Abort mission. Yeah, and when you fart and it sounds very liquidy, you're like, oh god, no.
I don't have that often, but like my dad does, and I'm like, Jesus Christ,
God.
what are you eating? Like, oh god, though I think the worst thing was the other day I got into the car because we were gonna go over to the gym, and I sat down and I'm like, oh my god, what's that smell? Like we'd both just sat down. I'm like, and it's like as soon as I looked over to ask him like, what the fuck is this? He's like, I'm sorry, it was me. And I was like, Jesus fuck, what did you do? And he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. And like he's turned on the car, we had to roll down the windows, and we've been having a bit of a cold snap recently, and it was like 20 below, and we had to have the windows down, and we're like, Jesus fuck. What have you done? It was the worst thing I've ever smelled. Like imagine the worst thing you've ever smelled, and it was worse than that. It was fucking like, like what did you do?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I've had it where it's like, did I just like shove a rotten egg up my ass before I farted? What the fuck just happened?
Wait, you have a dad farts and you're not even a dad? What the fuck?
And I think it's old farts. I don't think it's dad fart. I think it's old farts. Oh,
I think you're breaking the law, buddy.
Oh god, no! It smells like roses when I fart.
That's what my dad says.
Oh god,
I'm shocked because it's a fucking dad. Like,
yeah, you're a dad. Holy shit, Kit's a dad.
He's a secret. Like, what if you're a dad and you don't even fucking know it? Like, you have like a secret kid somewhere no one told you about, and then one day someone's gonna come up and be like, "So, Michael, this is your son," and it's gonna be like that scene from Forrest Gump.
Oh god.
And you'll go sit down and be like, "What are you watching?" He's like, and then your kid's like, Bert and Ernie, and you're like, "Okay."
My mama always said Bert and Ernie was awesome.
My mom always said Bert and Ernie are probably gay. And the kid's like, okay.
What?
Let me show you a video I did about Forrest Gump.
You're fucking plugging your videos to the child you just discovered you had.
And you're like, buy my merch.
Of course
dude.
I will. Buy my merch. I need to pay for your child support.
So I think we're about done probably, and doesn't relate. I just want to mention it because I think it's funny. So because we've been all having just an insane week, and for me that just involves constant panic and repeating conversations over and over and over again, and like trying to like restructure them and try to figure out how I can do them better. But I've been doing that, and then sometimes it'll get worse though, and then it's almost like things are spinning, like. Like when people say things are spinning out of control, it's like that. And the only way to get myself to kind of to cool it a bit is if I physically out loud go stop. like, like I'm talking to like a kid or a dog or something. Like stop it. And my brain's like, oh shit, sorry, dog.
So if somebody were to be like just standing outside your room, it would be silence for a while, and then just stop it.
Yeah.
Just
like knock it.
just stop.
Knock it, stop. And yeah, and I'm not. Yeah, generally it isn't a whisper. I'm just sitting here. I'm like, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Stop. Enough.
Yeah, I think that would be one of those things where you like you're a parent, you're just kind of like listening at the door, because I assume parents do this, and just hear, just stop it.
Yeah.
Jeez, how many times I have to tell you stop?
All sorts of swearing and groaning of me going okay, stop.
Okay, so I guess he has a girl in his room or a guy. I don't care. Somebody's in his room. It's awesome.
Why would they think if I'm just sitting there going, oh god, fuck, I hate myself. Stop it. I think at that point they would just think I'm crazy. But so I just thought I'd bring that up. So if you didn't know, this is the worst ever fucking thing I've ever done in my life. Not really, but kinda. Remember, you go to patreon.com/GoBicker at even the $1 level, and you get shit like this early. So early, in fact, that you can watch it live. It's really nice that I can just say through the outro and shit, and Chris isn't like, but the Don Howard.
Yeah.
Fucking drives you crazy. And then at the $5 level, you can also get early Discord access. Shut the fuck up, because you're getting cut out anyway.
Is that part of every single outro?
I think so, because you always keep fucking talking. So I don't know.
Well, you said that you were
maybe
missing
one day
Chris,
you'll
so I was
learn.
trying to help.
Stop. I don't know. Maybe not. Not really, but kinda. Ha 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 ha. Now I have to keep putting the fucking logo in because I hate myself. Next week, hopefully, we'll be back with more shit that doesn't suck, but I doubt it because this is the worst company on the internet. I want to kill myself. Goodbye.
Oh my god. Bye bye.